When I got started selling on Poshmark, as many of you know, I just did it to sell things around my home. Slowly I started looking around stores as I was shopping for personal stuff and just picking up things here and there that I thought would make a profit on Poshmark. But a lot of that profit was super low, like $4, $5, $6. And in my mind, I didn't see how it'd be possible to turn this into like a sustainable, really profitable business. The idea of even making $1,000 a month in profit on Poshmark was so beyond me. But I kept at it. I kept researching, watched many YouTube videos from other resellers, which I am so thankful for. And eventually I reached that milestone. And so today I want to share 10 different ideas, tips, hacks that you can use to reach that milestone yourself. So if you're a beginner and looking for a way to make Poshmark really work for you, I hope that these 10 tips help you. And they're in no particular order because I think these 10 things are all equally important. Before I get started with the first tip, if at any point you find value in this video, support my channel by giving it a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. The first tip that I have for you is to learn about styles and brands. A lot of the time, new people coming into the reselling space will focus on learning the brands that sell. But brand is not everything. You also have to learn what styles sell, because a brand sometimes is only good in certain styles. Not everything in a brand will sell, or not even sell for a high enough sell price for you to make a decent profit. I'm going to share 4 different ways that I like to do this. The first one is on Poshmark, looking through their Poshmark parties. Okay, so let me just give you a broad overview of what parties actually are, just in case you're not familiar. So Poshmark has several parties a day, and these are virtual parties. So it's just kind of like a separate kind of room in the Poshmark app where people share items that belong to that party. So they will have like an athleisure themed party, they'll have like a high fashion, a trendy, dresses, coats. They'll just have different categories. And if your item fits the description of that party, you're able to share your items to that party. Now the idea is that Poshmark does these parties around things that are popular at the moment. So it's a good idea to at least familiarize yourself with the brands that they accept in these parties, because obviously if they're wanting to make parties around these brands, that means that they're hot right now and that you should probably be on the lookout for them. So I'm going to go to my Poshmark app. From there, we are going to tap on the shop button at the bottom. Then you're going to scroll up, and do you see there where it says showrooms? That's also another way that you can familiarize yourself on what's trending and what's selling right now. Showrooms is different from parties, so we'll talk about that another day. But you can just scroll through the showrooms little section just to see what's selling. But what we're scrolling down to find is the parties. So right here we see where it says parties. We're gonna tap on that little piece of text that's on the farther right that says all parties. Once you tap there, you will see that these parties are divided into 3 sections. The first one at the top is parties that are happening right now. So right now in this moment, there is a best in makeup Posh party. So if you have makeup, you can go and share your items there. And then right below that is party invitation. So these are the ones that are coming up next. There's a pets party, a relaxed Posh party, and another makeup party happening tomorrow as well. How you can know what brands are being accepted in these parties is to tap on one of those. So I'm going to go to the outdoor adventure one. And then from there, you're going to tap that blue text that says showrooms. And then from there, there's a lot of steps to get to this list. It wasn't this difficult before. They recently changed it. But from there, you're going to click on view party details. And maybe there's an easier way that I don't know about, but this is the way that I get to these brands. From there, lastly, you're going to click on View Posh Party Guidelines, and that's where you get to the brands right there to say brands allowed, and you can see all of those. I would take a screenshot of this just so that you have it and that you can look over it often. So while I'm waiting in line at the thrift store for them to open, I will look over all of these lists from all the different Poshmark categories to start familiarizing myself with these brands. And when I find these brands at the thrift store, then I can research them to make sure that the style I found is a good one. The next way that you can find out what brands and styles to pick up is here on YouTube. Search up what sold on Poshmark, and you'll get lots of videos of people sharing everything that sold for them in the past week, sometimes the past month. I will link a playlist of the ones I've done in the past down in the description. Just make sure that the videos you are watching are current, that they're from the end of 2020 and in 2021, because if you're watching what sold videos or thrift hauls from years ago, those things may not be selling right now. So watch current what sold videos and thrift hauls to start learning more about brands and styles that sell well on these reselling platforms. The second way is to look out for BOLO lists. BOLO stands for be on the lookout for. And essentially, these are brands that you should be looking out for when you're thrifting. Mogi Beth has a free downloadable PDF of 50 BOLO brands. That's a great start. And if you sign up for her email list, I think she does like a weekly BOLO list. So that's also a good way. You can search on Google for BOLO lists or here on YouTube as well. And then the last way that you can learn about brands and styles is to just window shop. Go out to your mall, look at popular stores and just see what they have going on there, or even online, check out your favorite websites, or maybe like Anthropologie's website, Revolve website, and see what's trending on there. Most of the time they have a section of what's new, what's hot, what's trending, and bestsellers, things like that. Taking the time to do all this research ahead of time will kind of give you this sixth sense of knowing what is a good reselling item versus what is not. And this is a sense that kind of gets stronger with time. So in the beginning, you may be moving a little bit more slowly as you're outsourcing, but the more you do it, the faster you will get, and you'll be able to tell from far away what is a good item and what is not. And even feeling the fabrics, you can tell what is of high quality and worth trying to resell. Sometimes I'm outsourcing and I'll see a brand and it just triggers in my mind that it's something I've heard before. And then the next step would be to research it. Tip number 2 is to explore your sourcing options and make it work. When I was getting started and I was looking at videos online, I saw people going to Goodwill and finding awesome things and making high dollar flips. So I went to several Goodwills around my area and found nothing, literally nothing. So then after that, from time to time when I was out doing errands, if I'd see a thrift store, I'd go in and kind of check it out to see if I saw any of the brands I've heard about on these videos. And it was most of the time nothing, a few things here and there. And then I would also search on Google and go to different thrift stores and find a few things here and there, but nothing that was worth me going back over and over again. At the time, I was working at IHOP and my coworkers knew what I was doing. So one of them shared a place with me. She told me about this thrift store and I went there, and that was where I got my start. The thrift store is called Thrift Giant. It's here in Texas. There's like 7 or 8 locations all around here. And so I went to the one that was nearest to my house and I found some of the brands that I heard about. I found some cheap mall brands. I picked up some things just based on style, and that's how I slowly got my start. I at least started to get this thing off the ground a bit. From there, I started trying all the different locations. So sometimes I travel 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes away, and I just rotate the same thrift store, but all the different locations. And that's how I've been able to find lots of BOLO brands that flip for high dollars. But I know that from here, to take it to the next level, I have to continue exploring my sourcing options. So the next step would probably be to go to a Goodwill outlet, what they call the bins, which I think think is like an hour away from my home, but I'd like to try that one day. I want to get into retail arbitrage, if that's how you say it, and I'd even like to try online sourcing or ordering wholesale, and just continue to slowly explore more options so that I can slowly continue to increase my income. So if you live in an area where there's not a lot of sourcing options that are easily visible, do not give up. Continue doing research, ask people, search on Google, and if anything, you can also search on Facebook for garage sales that are going on. If all else fails, try online sourcing. Just don't give up. Keep searching for more sourcing options so that you can make this thing work. Next tip is to research before you buy. This tip and tip number one go hand in hand, because if you've been doing your research beforehand and learning about brands and styles, then you'll be at the thrift store and you'll be able to spot brands that you've heard are doing good. But that's just step one. From there, you'll also have to take the item and do some research, because remember, not just because it's a Bolo brand will it sell. It also has to be the right style. So you'll have to take this item and do comparables on the reselling marketplace. This is also known as doing comps. Doing comps before you purchase will help you just analyze your competition to make sure that the product you're about to pick up is in demand. You can also tell about how much you're going to sell it for and about how fast it will sell as well. So I'm going to do an example with you right now, and we'll do it with this t-shirt that I picked up the other day. It's a Taylor Swift the 1989's World Tour t-shirt. I picked this up for 95 cents on half day off, so it was like less than 50 cents. So the first thing you're going to do, let me go start recording. Make sure you're under the shop option at the bottom, and at the top you're going to search. So you just type in descriptive words of the item that you're trying to do research for. So I'm going to put Taylor Swift blue 1989 World Tour t-shirt, and then just click search, and then here we have the shirt. The first thing you can see is how many are available online. If you scroll, you can kind of tell if there's a lot or a little bit. So this one is kind of like oversaturated. Look how many there are of the same shirt. So my competition is high for this shirt, and it may take a while to sell since there are so many available. From this page, you can also tell about how much it's being listed for. So you'll see a lot of low ones for people who aren't really resellers and they're just trying to get rid of things out of their home. Sometimes you can see things for $10, $5, and then you'll also see some on the higher end of the spectrum for in this case $20, $25. So just kind of make your best guess as you're scrolling through this page and kind of come up with an average of about how much people are listing this item for. The next thing you can do is at the top, scroll through these filters until you get to the one that says availability. We're going to switch it from available to sold items. And now it's showing us the items that have actually sold this exact item. So we know how much people are listing it for, but how much are they actually selling it for? And as I scroll through here, you'll see that there's some 10, some 16, 15, 22. So this will kind of give you an idea of about how much you can get for it. And again, there's going to be high and low numbers, and you just kind of have to get an average of what you think it is. So I'm thinking that I could probably get anywhere from $15 to $18. Maybe I could do right in the middle and do about $17. But the thing is that if I think I can get $17 for it, I have to price it a bit higher to make room for sales and discounts and offers to likers. So because I paid so little for this shirt, I am okay with that selling price. Anywhere from $12 to $17 would be okay with me. But if I had picked up this shirt for like $5 to $6, then that wouldn't be such a good idea to pick it up. So that's what you want to do. Any item that you find when you're outsourcing, if you're too unsure about it, then go ahead and look up comps on Poshmark, see what people are selling it for, see what it's sold for in the past to kind of see what you can get for it before you pick it up to make sure that it's worth it. And as I said, there's numbers that are high and low, so sometimes it's hard to tell, but a lot of times it can also be blatantly obvious as to whether it's a good pickup or not. Sometimes you'll see the items are listed for $8, $9, $10 and then it's not worth your time. And sometimes you'll see that there's lots of items listed for $40, $50, $60 and a lot of them are listed for that high price. Then it may be a good idea. It is time consuming to go sourcing and do comps on everything. Sometimes I actually skip it, and a lot of the times those are the items that sit for a long time or that don't sell for that much money. So I try to do it as much as I can, especially on items that I'm really doubtful for. But then again, there's also some items that I've picked up in the past that I know sell well, so I don't even have to do comps on them. So the more you do it, the faster you'll get. The more you sell, the more you'll kind of be able to know without doing comps. But in the beginning, try doing comps just so that you can make your money back faster and you can continue to reinvest and hit that $1,000 mark much faster. Tip number 4 is to increase your active listings. If you think that you're going to list a few items and that you're going to wait for them to sell before you go out and buy more items to post on Poshmark, you're going to be waiting for your $1,000 months for a long time. In order to get to that 1K milestone, you have to list so that you can increase your active listings. Let me show you what I mean by that and where you can find this information. What you're going to do is go to your profile at the bottom right hand side. Once you're there, you're going to scroll down to where it says My Posh Stats. And right under your Posh Stats, there's a section that says Listings Analysis. The first one is your available listings. Right now I have 240 items that are up for sale. The higher this number is, the more chances of making daily sales, multiple daily sales, and the faster you will get to your $1,000 mark. And that is because reselling is a numbers game. The more you have up for sale, the higher the odds of someone running into your item in the exact size and color that they need. If you have 10 shorts up for sale in all sort of different colors and sizes, someone looking for shorts on Poshmark is more likely to find yours if there's more of them out for sale. Also, if you were to list 10 items a day, some of those items will go on to sell that very day. Some of them will sell in a couple of days, some of them in a week, and some of them may end up selling in a month or 2 months. But if you're constantly listing and increasing your number of active listings, it's like you always have items going down the pipeline. It's like you're constantly feeding the beast, as they say. So at some point you will get to where you're making multiple sales a day and you will get to that $1K mark. 2 things when it comes to this tip. Number 1 is that the items you're listing have to be high quality items that people are actually searching for, so make sure you're doing your comps and researching your brands and styles. Number 2 is that when I say that you have to increase your active listings, you're probably thinking or asking yourself, okay, how many is that? And there's no magic number of the amount of active listings you must have to be successful on Poshmark, but I can give you a rough idea of what that means based on my own experience. So when I had about 50 items up for sale, I would make a couple sales a week. Maybe 2, 3, sometimes 4 sales a week if I got lucky. Once I increased that to about 80 to 100 items, then I would make a sale almost every day. Sometimes I'd have no sales days here and there, but almost every day. And now that I'm up to over 200 items that are active on my reselling platforms, I'm making anywhere from 4 to 5 sales a day. Sometimes it's less, sometimes the next day it'll be 7. It just always averages to about 4 sales to 5 sales a day. Next point is that to increase your active listings, of course you have to list consistently, and this means different things to different people. You can list consistently weekly, so you can set a goal for yourself that you will list 20 or 30, 40, 50 items every week. It doesn't matter if they're done every day, as long as you get 50 by the end of the week. That's a goal you can set for yourself that you will consistently follow through on, or you can set a daily listing goal and you can do 2 or 3. That's where I started, and right now I'm up up to 5 to 7 listings a day. Sometimes I miss a day or even 2 and nothing happens, but as long as you're somewhat consistent with that, you will start to see the momentum. And to make that happen, you kind of sort of have to plan ahead of time. So take your pictures all in one day so that you have enough to be listing throughout the week. Or if you're more of a daily person, have your setup ready to go so that you can take the pictures you need every morning and then list throughout the day. Whatever works for your schedule, just make sure you're planning ahead of time. For me, I can look at my phone of all the pictures I took, and when I'm running low, I know that it's about to be time to take pictures again. I can see my inventory. When it's running low, I start planning a sourcing trip. I always know when the sales are happening at the thrift store that I go to. So I'm always thinking ahead, planning ahead so that I can keep being consistent with listing items and increasing my active listings. Tip number 5 is to use SEO friendly titles. SEO stands for search engine optimization. And this basically means to add words into your titles and descriptions that people will be using when they're searching for your item. These are called keywords, and when you use them, it is more likely that Poshmark will pick up your item and show it to people when they are searching for it. And this is important because this is the way most people shop, by using the search option. I know that's the case for me. When I'm shopping on Poshmark, I search for it by using the search option. It is rare when I make a purchase just because I see it in the feed or because I run across a profile. I make purchases like that sometimes, but not always. A large percent of the time, it's because I use the search function. So right now, what I'm interested in buying is a necklace. It's been a long time since I've had a necklace, and I love jewelry, and I'm missing a necklace. So say I was searching for a necklace, I would search up for gold rosary necklace. And the results that are shown to me have those words in their title. I'm going to click on this one. She titled it Rosary Necklace 18 karat gold plated. So all the words are there. They're not in the exact same order, but all the words are there, and they're also in her description. So that's why it's important for you to learn about keywords and use them in your title and description, and use as many as you can so that you can have more chances of being shown to people who are searching for your item. So I'm going to take this as an example to kind of tell you some keywords that I'd use for this dress. So this is a Lane Bryant dress, and it is a plus size dress. So that is one of the keywords I would use, plus size, because some people want dresses that are a larger size. At the bottom, this is flowy, and it's also pleated, so it's kind of like ribbed in a way. So that's another keyword I would use. There's leaves, so maybe floral. There's this tie that goes at the waist. I have it here around the neck, but it goes around the waist. So I'd add waist tie as well. It is long sleeve. It is modest because it covers up a lot, so I'd use the keyword modest as well. It has a collar, so I'd use the keyword collared. There's so many keywords that I could use for this dress, but most beginners would just upload this dress and say it is just a Lane Bryant dress, and that is it. And that will sometimes get the job done, so I don't want you to get too caught up on these keywords, but just do your best to slowly learn more and more and incorporate them wherever you can. Some things you can do to start learning about these keywords: number 1 is to use Google. Similar to when you searched on Poshmark to do comps on the item before purchasing, you can do research on Google to find the item. Once you find the item, you may find it for sale on Poshmark by another seller. You may find it on Amazon. You'll probably find it across other reselling platforms. So go to those listings and see the words they are using to describe the item. If you can't find the exact item, maybe you can find one that's very similar, and so you can just go to that listing and kind of start seeing how people are describing items. Slowly you'll start gaining more and more knowledge on these keywords, and it'll be easier for you. Another thing you can do is go on, again, Google or Pinterest and look up these lists, these kind of cheat sheets. You can search up types of dresses, and you can have this cheat sheet so that you can know the different names for the styles of dresses. You can search up types of heels, types of boots, types of jeans, just to start familiarizing yourself with what things are called. Because if you're anything like me, you're not a big fashionista, you don't really know what things are called, then this is going to help you a lot. Next tip is to share a lot more. Other platforms have an advertising option, so you pay them to show your items in prime spots. Amazon and eBay do this. If you're ever shopping on Amazon, you'll see items on the side that say sponsored products. Even on Google and eBay, there's items that are shown to you in prime areas, prime spots where they're easily visible because other people paid to have them there, and they paid because they know that that's how they make sales, by having items shown in places where people are able to see them. And Poshmark doesn't have anything like this yet. Maybe they will in the future, but right now it's free to have your items show up in the most valuable place on the Poshmark app, and that is at the top of the search results, because as I said, that is how most people are shopping, by using the search function. And your item will more likely show up there if, number one, you use keywords like we talked about before, but also if you share your item a lot. And I'm going to show you why I keep emphasizing that word a lot. So here I am where I was before, searching for the gold rosary necklace. I'm going to tap on my first option. At the top, you can see that it says that she updated this item 8 minutes ago. So that means she shared this item 8 minutes ago, or made some sort of edit 8 minutes ago. She refreshed it in some way 8 minutes ago. And that's how the items in the search results are ordered, by the amount of time that it has been since they last updated. Because if we click on the next one, that one was updated 9 minutes ago. And if we scroll down further, the time would just get higher and higher. And if I go back and I search for this same search term again, you will see that the one that was previously in the top spot is no longer there, because someone else has shared since she last shared. This one was updated a minute ago, so she has now took the spot, the first prime spot, than the one that was there previously. I hope all this is making sense, but basically items move very fast on Poshmark because people are always sharing, and the items that are at the top have the highest possibility to sell. And once you share, it's at the top only for a little bit, and then after that it keeps dropping down and down as the time since you last shared or edited your item gets higher. So that's why you need to share a lot more often to keep your items boosted up at the top where people are more likely to see them. And the thing is that there are Poshmark resellers out there who use bots to share their items. So they're sharing their 1,000+ active listings multiple times an hour. And when they do that, that makes your items go down the feed a lot faster. So try your best to share a little more. But don't let this get in the way of your work-life balance. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just share as much as you can, as it's comfortable. Once a day for sure, a couple times even better. And if you're a beginner and you only have a few items, if you can do it up to 5 or 10 times a day, then all the best. It shouldn't take you that long anyway, maybe a minute or two if you have 5 to 10 items. Now, once you reach 100 or 200, over 200 items, this may start to get a little bit time consuming. So you may want to consider to hire this task out, which is what I do. I pay a company named Reseller Assistant, and they share my items over 15 times a day. They also do community shares for me, and I pay them a little over $3 to do that. And to me, it's so worth it because I don't have to worry about it all day long. I just focus on other things. But that is something for you to start considering once you start gaining your momentum, and once you have so many items that it's taking up too much of your time to share daily. I'll leave the link for Reseller Assistant down in my description if you're interested in checking them out. Tip number 7 is to turn likes into sales using Poshmark seller tools. Once you start sharing a lot more, you will naturally start getting a lot more likes on all of your items. Some people will like items just because, but a lot of them will like it because they're interested in it. They're interested in buying it now or sometime in the future. Whatever the case, now that you have a like on that item, you can use one of 3 Poshmark seller tools to potentially turn that like into a sale. I'm going to share the 3 tools with you and how I am currently using them, but just know that what I'm sharing with you is just one way to use these tools. There are many other ways that you can use them. There are many ways that other resellers use them as well. The first seller tool is offers to likers. Now, this is a tool that you may already know about and be using, but you may not be using it in the right way. If you don't know about it, I'll leave a tutorial down below where I show exactly how to use it. But when I use offers to likers, I make sure that I give people a good deal. I am not sending 10 or 15% off. I send at least 20% off, sometimes 30, sometimes 40, depending on how long I've had the item. Thing is, you want to send an irresistible deal. But for that, of course, you need to be able to price your items a little bit higher in order to make room for a big deal when people actually like it. Also, I try to send out these offers as soon as I can. So when someone likes it, the more time passes when you send out the offer, the less likely they are to buy, because maybe they found something somewhere else, or maybe they got off the app and they're not there anymore. So try to send out your offers as soon as you can. The next seller tool is closet clear out. On closet clear out days, Poshmark will pay part of the buyer's shipping. So instead of them paying the original, $7.50 or so, they pay only $4.99 for shipping. And Poshmark pays it instead of us. Normally when we give a shipping discount, that comes out of our earnings, but not on closet clear out days. On that day, it comes out of Poshmark's pocket. For this sale to be activated, you have to reduce the price of one or more of your items by at least 10% of the historical price. And once you do that, anyone who has ever liked that item will receive a notification on their app and an email telling them that you've dropped the price of this item and they can buy it for $4.99 shipping discount for the next 6 hours. So that kind of puts some urgency behind it, and that's how sales happen. Closet clear out happens a couple times a week, and it only works for items that are 10 or above, and it doesn't work for bundles. So it's only on single items. If you go to the app and you click on this bell button so that you can see your notifications, at the very top there's a banner. And today it's Sunday. Most of the time closet clear out days happen on Fridays and Sundays, but not always. Sometimes they switch things around. But almost every day when I wake up, before I send out offers to likers, I check if it's closet clear out day so that I can make use of that Poshmark seller tool instead, so that Poshmark can pay for shipping instead of me. But at the top, you'll see a banner that says it's closet clear out when it is. So I get up in the mornings and check to see if it is or it's not, because if I were to wait for the email, it'd be too late in the day. And let me just show you here on the app how you'd go about using this tool. So here I am in my closet. You're going to click that tool looking thing up at the top right. Once you do that, there you have several options. What you're going to do is click on edit listing price. From there, your options at the top are either to raise your listing price or drop it. We want to drop it by 10% so that we can make use of this closet clear out seller tool, and then click next. And from there, you're going to select all the items that you want to drop by 10%. So what I would do is scroll all the way to the bottom or sort my items by the oldest. That way I can drop the price on the older items that are taking a little longer to sell. Once you do that, you're going to click on that blue button that says drop prices. But that's essentially how you'd go and reduce the price of your items in bulk so that people can get notifications of the sale. The third seller tool is bundle messages. So Poshmark doesn't have a direct way for us to communicate with our potential buyers in a private format. All you can do is comment under your listings and have a chat like that back and forth, but sometimes you may want to talk to them just in a private way, and that's where bundle messages come in. So I'm going to show you how to get to them and then explain to you how and why I use them. So I'm going to go to the Bell News notification option at the bottom. I'm going to scroll at the top until I get to the likes tab. And then there I can see the first like is this woman here. So I'm going to tap on her profile picture. Once we're in her profile, we're going to click that bag that's with her profile up at the top right. And that is the bundle option. Right now it's on buy mode, so anything that I've liked in her closet would be here, but we want to go to sell mode. To get there, you want to click on the 3 dots on the top right hand side and click on switch to sell view. Then we can see all the items she has liked from her closet. And this is where you can go and message them privately. So I messaged her before letting her know about closet clear out day. So that's one way that I use these bundle messages. On closet clear out days, I message them letting them know, hey, look, Poshmark's paying part of your shipping today. I can lower the price of this item. Let me know if you'd like that. But also sometimes when I send out offers to likers, I will also message them letting them know that this offer went out to them and if they have any questions to let me know. So I try to do this as much as possible to communicate with them with the bundle messages. I don't always do it. Sometimes I'm strapped for time, so I just send out the offers and that's it. But I try to do it as much as I can, and I love doing this because it just opens up the conversation. Sometimes they will ask me questions. They will tell me, okay, I want it, but when can you ship? Or can you give me this measurement that I didn't see in the pictures? They ask questions, I answer them, and oftentimes it leads to a sale. So I really do recommend you try that out. Try messaging potential buyers, communicating with them, being friendly. This is just good customer service. Tip number 8 is to relist your items. Essentially, to make sales on Poshmark, you need to list items that people want in the right size, right color, and at the time that they need it. If you were to list, say, a swimsuit that someone was looking for in the color and size that you have it, but they were looking for it yesterday, maybe you lost your moment to sell that item. Sometimes you get lucky and you list things at the perfect time that someone was looking for it and it sells within that day or the next day. Sometimes items are not so lucky and they sit for a couple weeks, and some very unlucky items will sit for months or years. Sometimes maybe you misjudged the item and you priced it way too high. Maybe you listed it at the wrong time or in the wrong season, or maybe you just need better pictures. That's when you can go to plan B and relist your item. And that is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to take your listing down and list it again as a fresh new listing. I like to do this about once every 3 months. Once the item has been listed for about 90 days, it's gotten some likes, I send out offers, but no one is accepting my offer, and I've already sent the lowest that I'm willing to accept for it. Or maybe sometimes the item is up for sale and not getting that many likes at all. Those items are just considered stale, and it's time to relist, to revive them and refresh them. Doing this will get fresh eyes on your listings because it will be shown in the just in category on Poshmark. And Poshmark has made it really easy for you to relist your items. Going to start the screen recording to show you how you would do it. I'm just going to go into my closet and choose any random item. I'm going to do these jeans. We're going to go to edit at the top, scroll down, and at the bottom left there's a copy listing feature. So we're going to click copy and then click yes, and that will make a duplicate of this item with all the information already in it. They do add copy at the front of your title, so you would just delete that and fill out the title the appropriate way. Once you do that, then you'd click next and you list it, but I'm not going to do that right now. But that's essentially how easy it is to relist your items. Now this will only work if your item has been listed for more than 60 days. If you copy an item to relist it, it's not going to show up as a fresh new listing if it's been less than 60 days. But if it's more than 60 days and you relist an item, it will show up as a fresh new listing listing and be shown up in the just in category. So if your items are not selling and they're just sitting there, make sure to relist them to give them another chance. Number 9 is to diversify by cross-listing or cross-posting, whatever you want to call it. If you're just starting on Poshmark, I don't recommend you do this. I recommend you focus on Poshmark, get that going, learn the processes. But once you have a good system going for Poshmark and you feel comfortable enough to add something else to your plate, then I think it's a good idea to add another selling platform to the mix. Different selling platforms have different demographics, so something that may not be selling on Poshmark could possibly sell on another platform. I think that Mercari is a natural step up from Poshmark when it comes to the reselling platforms. I think Poshmark is the easiest, but after that it's Mercari. Then after that I would put eBay. So once you're ready and you've got a good process going for Poshmark, you could try cross-listing your items to further increase your chances of making more sales and getting to that $1,000 mark. To relist, I use a software called List Perfectly. I will leave a tutorial that I made all about List Perfectly down in the description. And the last very important tip is to analyze your strategy. And this is very important so that you don't keep wasting your time doing things that are not working. Set some time aside to analyze your whole strategy so that you can see what is selling and what is not, what's performing well, what's bringing in profit and what is not. So I told you about when I get to the thrift store early and I'm in line, I look over all these brands and styles just to refreshen my mind on what I should be on the lookout for. Another thing I like to do is go to my closet and I click that little funnel thing on the right hand side and I sort my items by just in. Then I can scroll way to the bottom and I slowly look over my items. So they're listed as just in, and I can kind of get an overview of what's been selling lately. Because once you start to get a lot of items in your closet, everything just kind of starts to blur together. It's not really that apparent right off the bat in your mind what's been selling, what hasn't. Sometimes I'll go to the thrift store and I'm like, I got this before. I wonder if it's sold. I don't remember, and I don't remember for how much. So sometimes I'll take the time to review my closet and sort it by just in, just to see what has been selling lately. Another thing to analyze is the messages you're sending out. If you're sending out messages and bundles and it's not converting, not many people are responding back, make sure to reword it so that it can be more clear and precise, maybe more to the point. Just try rewording it a different way to see if that makes a difference. Also, if you're sending out offers to likers, if you're only sending out 10% and that's not working, maybe try 20% or 30%. Analyze your pricing strategy as well. Are you listing too high or too low? There's so many aspects of Poshmark that work together to make this thing work. And the more you take a step back from time to time to analyze everything and see what's going on, the more likely you're able to spot things that you could possibly change to make a world of difference and make this thing work. Let me know in the comments down below what one tip that I talked about today will you be trying? What will you be doing different moving forward? Also, along with your comments, feel free to leave your Poshmark closet name. I have credits in my Poshmark that I use sometimes to shop for myself, so I'd love to support you. Make sure to leave your closet below and I'll be checking it out. And with all that being said, that's all for me today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.